Hello everybody. I have returned to Patreon. I paused my account for a while last year because I hadn't been posting and I was still trying to organize what it was that I was actually doing. And now I feel like I've got to that place and I am ready to actually explain my plan and to share music with you, which I'm going to be doing throughout the year. To give you the plan first, I will be releasing a record early next year under my own name, Laura Sheeran, back like the old days. Not only will I be releasing one record, I think I will be releasing 4. Now, this is part of a bigger project, which I will explain now, but I'm hoping throughout the year to use Patreon as sharing space for these pieces to keep me with the momentum of finishing them and getting them over the line and everything like that. So I will be posting here once a month. So, to give you the bigger picture, for the last couple of years, I have been performing and releasing music under the name Persona. And that was something that I wanted to do for a long time, to have a pseudonym of an extension of myself, but something that I could perform as that character and not have all of my music and all of my performances so completely tangled up with myself as an individual. That was something that had been destructive for me in the previous 10 years whenever I'd been gigging. I used to write music about the deepest, most painful, difficult things that I was going through in life, and then with no care or thought whatsoever, I just go out and perform that in front of people and then, listen to people's feedback and blah, blah, blah. It was just too much. I was too sensitive and I was too vulnerable at the time. So anyway, one of the ways that I wanted to kind of work on that and work through that in order to be able to perform again, because I loved performing, was to create this alter ego. It also meant that I could finally really lean into the more poppy, accessible songs that I had been writing for years that I never felt I could put out or do anything with because of just kind of the expectation of releasing something always that's highbrow or really artistic or whatever, and it was really limiting me because loads of the music I was writing was not that. It was pop, alternative pop, but still very much in a pop vein. And the whole point of it is just to be able to have fun, enjoy, to play around, to enjoy playing around. It's been really, really great. Now, towards the end of last year, I'd gotten a bit more confident. Every time I do a gig, I'm like, okay, I'm going to add another thing in now. I'm always every gig is an opportunity to build onto it. And the last gig I did, I was experimenting with changing the persona so that I can it's not always just a persona of me, my own persona. So I performed and I wore a blonde wig. It was the week that David Lynch died as well. R.I.P. That was a very sad time. I was like, what if I did the gig as a different character in the spirit of David Lynch? And so I did, and it completely transformed how I experienced the performance. It was really interesting. So that unlocked a whole other door. And then I realized that I was able to create multiple personas. There's, I would say, close to 100 songs that I have written that are all in varying stages of completion. I immediately started categorizing all the songs and I was like, oh, that's definitely that persona, that's definitely that persona, that persona. And I came up with 4 personas. So then I realized that actually what I want to do is to release 4 collections of songs as persona, but that each of them encapsulate an individual persona. Right now I'm just calling them Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. Act 1 would be probably called The Dreamer or something, I don't know. And all of those songs of that persona are thinking about the universe, thinking about the world, curious, emotionally driven, and with looking for connection, human connection, all of those kind of things. Love songs would be in that collection, but curiosity and a dreamer. Another persona is like the sexualized being. That's like me as a pole dancer. It's me when I'm performing in that whole space. It's that aspect of me. Those songs would be much more connected to like our instincts, our body, our animal nature, whatever you want to say. The sexual drive, like it's kind of the more animalistic aspect of the self rather than the cerebral like thought space or dream space. The third collection will be, I would love to call it Inferno or something, but that is the goddess of the underworld. That is like rage, volcano, betrayal. That's like the dark realms of like the underworld. I don't know how else to describe it. A lot of it is betrayal and rage are the two main aspects of that collection. Then the final collection is like absolute super pop entertainer. So that is like, I'm thinking of calling the fourth collection Solaris, because it's like the sun, it's like the sun shining on everything. It's like the full solar system. It's like the bigger picture, but ultimately like entertainment driven, like four to the floor, super pop. That's the fourth collection. And that's kind of almost like a culmination of the three previous ones, because it's like all three can engage together to become like the full picture. Then, as that picture had been becoming more vivid in my imagination and I could really see that plan, the path was just unfolding in front of me. It was like, okay, this is definitely what you need to do next. And then I found a load of like Laura Sheeran music, which is really what was going on beneath the surface, you know? And then my brain did that thing that it does when it just doesn't stop and it just keeps on adding to the idea that's already probably too big. So if persona songs are what is visible on the surface and then the Laura Sheeran songs is what's been underneath the surface, I'm going to try and release the music that corresponds with the persona album as like a separate record, a Laura Sheeran record at the same time, or is close enough in time around then. Both can exist in the world. So anyway, that's my plan. I'm going to be posting once a month a piece of music from the Laura Sheeran collections, and I'm also going to be putting in like a newsletter thing underneath in the text box to talk a bit about like the things that I'm enjoying, not just my own work all the time, but like stuff I've seen, like if I've been to see a movie that I liked or what I'm reading at the time, music that's rocking my boat at the moment, whatever. That's that. So thanks for sticking around, guys. I hope that you enjoy Fire on the Tongue. As I said, it's a portion of a bigger piece, but I like it. I hope you like it too, and I'm excited for next year's project. Oh yeah, the other thing, sorry, the only final thing is that I have also started filming my feature film. It used to be called In the Mouth of a Lake. Now it's called Lac Caninum. And I'm finishing that this year as well. That's going back into filming in June, at the end of June, and then there'll be another little bit in August, and then that will be wrapped. So it's an exciting year ahead. I'm really looking forward to everything that's on the horizon, and I'm just very grateful that I have the chance to do all this stuff and be alive today. So on that note,